Shalom, loved ones. My name is Troy Cady, and I invite you to join me now as I offer midday prayers with PlayWell communities. PlayWell is a faith network of those who are learning to live by the unforced rhythms of grace. In today's time of prayer, I will read an excerpt from the excellent book Walking on Water by Madeleine L'Engle. It's an excerpt in which she presents her thoughts on the difference between naming something or someone in love versus labeling. Well, with that, let's get ready. We light this candle as a reminder that Christ, the light of the world, is present with us. The words of Jesus from Matthew chapter 11 as translated by Eugene Peterson in the Message. Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. In the middle of the day, we return to you, Jesus, our center. In you we live and move and have our being. Like parched souls searching for a spring, we thirst for you and your ways. With joy we draw water from the wells of your salvation. Let's take some moments of silence now to just rest, breathe, and be present. I invite you to join me now in this confession about the life of the beloved. I'll leave a silence after each line so that you can either say this aloud yourself or just savor the words in your heart to make it your own. I believe that I am God's beloved child. I am learning to let God's love fill my heart, to let it shape my life. So I may be just who God has made me to be, nothing more and nothing less. That I may abide in love and share God's love with all that I am. Amen. In our society today, and sadly, I'm sad to say that in Christian circles as well, it has become common to label people versus cherishing their name and seeing them as the named and beloved souls for who they are. And in her book, Walking on Water, Madeleine L'Engle speaks to this dynamic, the invitation to name in love and see people as named in love, and to resist the temptation to merely label others and put them into unhelpful categories. And here's what she says in a chapter called Names and Labels. A French priest conducting a retreat said, "To love anyone is to hope in him always. From the moment at which we begin to judge anyone, to limit our confidence in him, from the moment at which we identify, pigeonhole him, and so reduce him to that, we cease to love him, and he ceases to be able to become better. We must dare to love in a world that does not know how to love." And L'Engle continues, commenting, "We are to be children of the light, and we are to walk in the light. And we have been groping along in the darkness. The creative act helps us to emerge into the light, that awful light which the disciples saw on the Mount of Transfiguration, and which the Hebrew children saw on the face of Moses when he had been talking with God on Mount Sinai. If we are blind and foolish, so were the disciples. They simply failed to understand what the light was about. These three disciples who were closest to him, they wanted to trap Jesus, Elijah, and Moses in tabernacles, tame them, pigeonhole and label them, as all of us human beings have continued to do ever since. It seems that more than ever, the compulsion today is to identify, to reduce someone to what is on the label. To identify is to control, to limit. To love is to call by name. And so open wide the gates of creativity. But we forget names and turn to labels. If we are pigeonholed and labeled, we are unnamed. God, may we resist pigeonholing and labeling others, including ourselves. May we call out names in love. May we see others as named in love by you. May we hear you calling us by name in love. And may we call you by name in love. Here's a prayer now for our work. We commit to you, God, the work that is done and the work that is yet undone. May your beauty rest upon us, Lady Wisdom. We trust you will complete the incomplete. We believe you will finish what you started. May we meet you on the road with us, Brother Jesus. As we labor, be our resting place. Please make our work restful and our rest fruitful. May we remain present to your presence, Great Spirit. Now receive this blessing that has been written by Teresa de Avila. Let nothing disturb you, nothing affright you. All things are passing. God never changes. Patient endurance attains to all things. Whom God possesses, in nothing is wanting. Alone, God suffices. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me today in Midday Prayers with PlayWell Communities. If you would like to join a small group of us that meet on Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Central and Sundays at 12:30 p.m. Central, you are welcome to do so. Just let me know and I'll give you details on how to do that. We gather together to pray and to share with one another and just to kind of be in life together and turn to God in the midst of it all. So reach out if that's something that you would find life-giving to participate in. We meet on Zoom. I hope you have a good rest of the day today, and above all, be loved because you are beloved.